Hello, everyone who is listening or watching. I've got one of my clients, Will, here just to discuss his time in the program. And I suppose just to very quickly start it, Will, if you'd like to introduce yourself and who you are and what you do.
Thanks, Liam. Hi. My name is Will Lane. I'm from the UK. I actually live in Canada, Toronto specifically. I've been here for 5.5 years. And I first met Liam, I think it was March 2024. So him and I have been working together for over 9 months now. And it's been a sort of a fabulous experience and a great experience for me, coming to Liam with some issues that I had, and now 9 months later, being in a position where I'm sort of in a far better place to sort of operate my life and operate my business. So I'm thankful to Liam for all the work we've done together.
Brilliant, Will. And I suppose a lot of people who are listening, right? The biggest thing I suppose I probably get from people is if you are in a situation and you need to get out of some habits or procrastination, mate, what would you say to a younger version of yourself? If there's anyone listening who is debating, even tackling, it doesn't even need to be working with me, but even tackling their habits or their procrastination, their self-sabotage in general, what advice would you give them, or what sort of push would you give yourself? If you could speak to yourself, say two years ago rather than last March, what would you say to yourself?
That's a great question. And having been through this process, I'm with you. I'm in a better position to be able to offer someone advice like myself, such as 2 years ago, to
Hmm.
your example. Um, I would say that you need to look inwards at how you're operating and behaving right now and decide if that matches who you want to be in the future. And it's also that's not an easy question to answer for yourself. Is who do you want to be in the future? It
Hmm.
takes time to figure that out and understand it. But the biggest thing for me was deciding that I wanted to figure that out and then taking the time to do it. And it's a thoughtful process. It's not
Agreed.
easy, but I've found again deciding to do that and then working with someone like yourself just helps to understand exactly A, who you want to be, and then B, how do you get there? And for the struggles I had before, A, deciding that, and B, working with you, it was difficult to do that.
Hmm.
So having gone through a process like that and coming out the other side, I wish I'd done it several years before, so that the last few years of my life would have been different, and the way I operated on a personal level and a business level would have been far greater, like they are now. So
Hmm.
I'd say to to give some advice to someone, even myself 2 years ago, it would be just look inward, decide what you want to be and who you want to become, and put the time in to actually achieve it. And working with someone like yourself to remove some of the barriers for you in doing that has been key.
Yeah, look, the thing is, I think there's not one person, well, I'll be honest, that has worked with me that's, it's one of those things you always think, I wish I'd done this earlier, but I suppose,
Mhm.
that period was maybe, it wasn't for nothing, that sort of period where you're
Yeah,
stuck in, because I know I was as well, you can be stuck in limbo with some self-sabotage, and that period isn't for nothing, but that's the thing, we always wish we had tackled it a little bit earlier. Well, so your self-sabotage in general, well, how was it affecting your business, mate, if you don't mind me asking? I know listen, you were doing really well anyway, but how was it, what did you perceive it to be affecting in your life?
that's kind of you to say, Liam. But yeah, definitely having resolved some of those self-sabotage issues, I can say sort of definitively that the business has grown and improved
Hmm.
in terms of sort of size and revenue and staff count on so many metrics, having gone through this process. Um, Remind me of the full question again. Sorry.
Although, is it wonder how was it affecting, your business
All right,
before?
that's right. So the way I operate myself is the biggest change. Beforehand, when I wasn't, operating on such a high level, was self-sabotaging. I'd sort of wake up late every day for work. I'd arrive into the office, becoming I was generally very unorganized, so I didn't know what I had ahead of me for the day.
Hmm.
Um, so you're always sort of behind. You're always stressed, never thinking ahead, always just reacting rather than being proactive. Um,
Absolutely.
that's how it felt in a work sense.
Hmm.
And even in a sort of a relationship sense, on a personal level as well, it was not 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 approaching relationships the sort of the way I'd want to, and even
Hmm.
sabotaging relationships due to the way that I was operating, and there was some things I hadn't resolved that led to that. So
Hmm.
yeah, so sabotaging myself, sabotaging relationships, sabotaging business relationships, sabotaging potential earnings in the business, sabotaging the output that I could give to the business and the world really was, it wasn't nowhere near my potential. And when you don't sort of achieve your potential, you're not working towards what you perceive as your potential, that actually
Hmm.
creates sort of negative feelings within yourself of, you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, and you're not getting near where you're supposed to be getting to, which again just starts a negative cycle for you. And having been able to buck that trend and stop self-sabotaging, it's now led to far more positive outcomes in both business and in personal life, and just all round life life outputs.
Fantastic. It's amazing to look back on and talk about like that. Do you not think it's quite?
It is.
It's interesting to reflect, mate, because that's something like a lot of us don't do. It's nice to, and that's the reason for that question is to get you to reflect, and then you can see how far you've come, mate. And you've already mentioned the business growth as well, mate. So how has it, go into a little bit more detail for me. Like, what has it changed for business with you within the last, what is it, 9 months? What has changed for you, mate? What, has there been any sort of, you've mentioned change within yourself. Talk to me about that as well, mate. Like the identity change and what that's done for your business.
So the first thing is just having the clarity of mind to understand exactly what I wanted the business to be from an identity point of view,
Hmm.
what I wanted the business's goals to be, and then actually going and operating and achieving those goals. There's two parts to it. The first was having the clarity to know what I wanted it to be, and the second
Hmm.
part was then operating and taking the steps to achieve it. Um, the steps that were taken is really building relationships with clients, um, and being trusted by clients, and being held accountable by clients, or holding yourself accountable for your
Yeah.
clients,
Hmm.
so that you're delivering what you say you're going to deliver, what you're getting paid to deliver, so that you have a trusted brand and you're a trusted individual, and that just creates growth. But becoming that, and knowing that that's what you need, is when you're self-sabotaging is difficult. So removing
It
some of that
is.
self-sabotage gives you a clarity to know what you want, and then b, not necessarily clarity, but the ability to, and the tools maybe to go and actually achieve what you need to achieve.
For sure. Emotional maturity as well, mate, to be honest. I think
Yep,
it
definitely.
comes from it as well. But this is brilliant, mate. And how's this all affected? How's that affected your outlook on the future? Well, I know this might be a little bit of a different question. How has this change,
um,
the change you've went through, how's that changed your outlook on the future?
and it goes back to what I said in the start of that last answer, which was having the clarity to create goals for the
Hmm.
business in the first instance. So that's a huge important thing, but it's having goals, and then doing the work to achieve them. So having identified that, and gone through that over this last year, it sort of gives you confidence to look ahead and say, all right, what are my 10-year goals, 20-year goals, even shorter 5-year goals, next year goals, and really think about that. But as part of understanding those goals, it's not just business goals of money or headcount, or value of the company.
Hmm.
It's more, who do I have to become to achieve what I want, what those goals are.
Agreed.
It's it's far more than just a number or a count. It's who do I become to achieve these things, and also what I like, having worked with you, Liam, is that there will be people like me who I may hire in the future who I can help, which is huge as well. If I can give anyone, say an employee, or someone in my network, or someone who's younger who just wants some advice,
Hmm.
I I feel like I've gained the tools to know. Again, not perfectly. No one's perfect.
Nope.
No one has everything down. No one knows exactly how to do everything. But having gone through an experience like this, I'm a bit more well equipped. A to go and lead my life the way I want to and achieve the goals that I want to. But B, I feel like I'm able to lend some information to some other people, or help mentor or give some advice to other people as well, which I think is important, a good way of giving back as well. So that's sort of how I look forward if I'm looking at longer term goals. Is I know I don't. I need to remove self sabotage so that I can be successful. But does that
Hmm.
mean I can also, give some advice to other people as well? Then
Of
that's
course.
I feel like I can, and that's a good thing.
Fantastic. Well, this is absolutely brilliant. The identity, like you're saying, that the identity change is actually what people don't focus on because that money and growth come as a byproduct. Like, I feel
That's right.
like they just come naturally as a byproduct rather than focusing on those things. And it's nice to know that in the future that, dealing with your self-sabotage, you have more confidence knowing that you can actually tackle it, right? And you're not, while you are self-sabotaging with bad habits or procrastinate, whatever all what the things are, mate, that people go through. While you're in that, it's hard to look at the future with confidence because you know you're not giving your all. And having that confidence to know that you can give your all is a game changer, Will. That's absolutely perfect. And I'm honestly over the moon for you, Will. And I suppose the last thing I would ask, just from my point of view, is if there's any business owners listening that would like my help, what would you say to them?
I would 100% recommend working with Liam. Not just because he's a great guy, but because the work that I've been able to do over the last 9 months has been, insurmountable for me and my business. From helping to understand the issues that you had and then making steps to resolve them has just removed the barriers that were creating problems in personal business life, i.e., the self sabotage. And once you sort of figure out ways to a identify the problems and then b take action with them, Liam sort
Mhm.
of has the experience of working with many clients to take individuals through that process and help you understand personally how to manage yourself. And I feel like I'm a good example for being able to give a case study of how my business and life has improved since having worked with Liam. So yeah, I'd 100% recommend anybody who's going through any sort of self sabotage issues, or feel like they're not reaching their full potential or they're having productivity issues, to 100% go and work with Liam because he just gives actionable steps. He's a friendly guy who you want to talk to and work with, and you can always be a little bit vulnerable with and tell him exactly what's going on, and he will listen compassionately and give you the steps and the tools and help you. And he's not doing it for you. He's really helping you to understand these issues that you have yourself and helps you sort of create a plan to move on and get past them and become, let's say, a more sort of successful and uh, better version of yourself. So yeah, Liam, I've got huge thanks for everything you've done and the work we've done together. And as I say, I'd recommend you every day of the week to anybody who might be struggling or who needs a bit of help. Just going in the right direction.
Well, I appreciate that, Will. I really do. But I will say this, mate. Like you actually took everything on board straight away, and you've done it for yourself. Like as much as I appreciate the kind words, like it has all came that you're the one that's had to go out there and do it, mate. So seriously, give yourself a pat on the back, and yeah, it's honestly, I'm actually over the moon for you, mate. I really am. It's
Thank you,
amazing
mate.
to see what can happen in 9 months, isn't it?
Yeah, it certainly
It's
is.
not
Yeah,
in the grand scheme of things. It's not a long time, nine
no,
months, right? But
that's
it's
right.
it's amazing to see how full circle um just someone's life can go. So thank you
Thank you.
very much, Will, and it's been yeah, you've been amazing to work with as well.
Thank you, mate. Yeah, appreciate it. Appreciate the kind words, and so yeah, always thankful for the work we've done together.
Brilliant,
And
Will,
and,
and
and long may it continue as well.
absolutely.